You have found the Open Eclectic podcast, where Nate and Josh talk about everything from mobile games to books to pet peeves to cars to toys. Our interests run eclectic and we're open to more. Welcome to the Open Eclectic.
Should I start talking now?
If you want. And we're back.
And we're back. I thought you were, I don't know if you were Then I remembered just now, it probably doesn't matter. You don't have to roll it before you record it because that's the whole point of having it.
Yeah, it's the whole digital thing, isn't it?
Pre-recorded.
Yeah. Believe it or not, listeners, we are not doing reel-to-reels.
No. That'd be fun, though.
I absolutely know how to do that.
Do you?
That's how I learned how to edit audio, is on reel-to-reels, which is a nightmare.
I bet.
Because you got
a lot of tape and
razor blades and special tape
and razor blades
and then you had to make sure that your audio engineer was like really careful to actively listen, not just for mistakes but for places to pause, because then if you made a mistake, sometimes he would just rewind it on the spot and be like, ooh, yeah, no, this wasn't good, so here's a pause point you're gonna pick up right here.
How long ago did you guys switch to digital?
For my work, they started switching before I started working there as an employee. Which sounds like they were being shady, but we used a lot of volunteers in our past, and as a kid, because both my grandparents worked there, I volunteered and did all kinds of stuff, helping stuff for direct mail. Yeah, it was. So
experience don't pay the bills.
No, it sure don't. You're gonna pay me an exposure.
Oh, thanks, Grandma.
Yeah. So yeah, we moved to digital 13 years ago. I think after the last guy retired and then the current person took over. My boss Calvin had no interest in maintaining the reels. He was like, why would we do this when terrible. There's better ways to do it?
Wonder when
and cheaper.
When did the media, I guess broadcast media, or wonder when they switched to all that?
I don't know.
Tapes to. Because you look at some of the broadcast footage from like sports games from even 20 years ago, it looks terrible.
Yeah,
just awful.
Yeah,
and I've heard it's because because they didn't record it on really high quality tape.
Oh, really?
Because it's just that
I didn't know.
I don't know. It's almost like they weren't thinking ahead. You know what? People might want to watch this footage someday. But it just, I guess I'm thinking, so it's longer than that. So maybe 30 years ago, stuff in the 90s, you'd think would look decent.
My guess, and this is purely speculative.
It's okay. That's what we're here for. We like it.
Yeah. My guess is that sports broadcasting specifically probably took a spike up in quality in the early 90s, when people started having massive TVs in their living room. Because then they wanted to keep
they
up
want to
with
experience
that.
It. They're it's bigger and it looks terrible.
Yeah.
I need this. We need this to look better.
Yeah. And then now, of course, when you have your 100-inch TVs or whatever, something unfathomable in the early 90s.
Your 8 million K, whatever.
The weird thing is that when you remember or think about because we're focused on pixels, right? So you have your 1080p and your 4K or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so then I was wondering what's the equivalent of film in pixels?
I mean, I think film can be any resolution that you want, right? Because you can blow it up you can blow it up as big as you want. So that's why all these old movies, when they restore them, they look great because they're on film.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe we talked about this, but it's been at least 5 episodes, so I feel comfortable talking about it again. Or maybe we just talked about it. Maybe that's part of the appeal of the Christopher Nolan movies a little bit, seeing them in the theater on the big screen, because of how high that it looks. It has a slightly different look to it because he still shoots film, whereas everything else is digital. Not that the digital stuff looks bad. Don't get me wrong. Some of that stuff looks absolutely fantastic, but I think that kind of maybe gives a little edge because then you're not worried about resolution. You can see it on the biggest screen you possibly can and know that it's going to be even better on the bigger screen.
Right, and then the IMAX cameras are even even like more awesome than just regular film cameras, because they're made to be like
massive,
huge.
Yeah.
I have not seen a movie in IMAX. I think I've seen like, I've gone to like whatever museums, zoos, like Space Center, seen that stuff, but I've never seen like a movie film in
a film
IMAX.
I wanted to see Oppenheimer in IMAX, and I just didn't. There wasn't one close enough for me to justify like driving, because it's like over a 3-hour movie. Plus, I think Omaha might have been the closest.
Is that the closest one?
That'd have been like a whole day. And not that I'm above spending a whole day like on a movie per se, but considering it's like a hard R movie, like I'm not gonna take my kids to it. And the wife was kind of like, well, I don't know. I'll watch it if you get it on disc or if it's streaming, So
is it streaming now?
I'm sure it is. I have it on. I buy physical media. I bought it on the DVD Blu-ray combo pack.
Sweet. I've started doing that a little bit with.
Here it is, right here. Still in the package.
Oh, nice. Yeah, looks great. I started buying books again a little bit more physically. Like I'm there physically when I buy them.
You're there physically?
No. I buy physical copies. Because I kind of think about that. I'm like, Amazon could just, take my books away from me whenever they feel like it. And it's happened to people before.
Have you seen people are discovering this on like TikTok for the first time? It kind of blew up for a couple of weeks.
I didn't see anything about it.
No?
I've just heard read an article or something about somebody losing their books.
There could be it was because Sony recently, people had stuff on their PlayStations.
I did hear about that.
They started removing it because they lost the licensing, but these are movies that people paid full price for, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they don't have them because you're paying a rental fee. You're not. Yeah,
you're paying to view the license.
Yes,
but you're paying full price.
And that. Yeah, that's why. Like I have an e-reader, and I do enjoy it. I have some complaints about it, but that's like a whole other ball of wax. I just, I don't know. I like having the physical book, and then because of that, I buy the books that I really want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. Like, I think I kind of was on a kick where I'm like, Kindle, I can read it immediately.
Yeah.
Yes, I got it.
I did.
And I haven't had any, Amazon hasn't taken my books away yet. But they could.
Yeah.
And, so just the last few books I've gotten physical ones. So plus you can underline things or highlight things. Or
you certainly can.
You can smell them.
You can smell them.
You can feel the paper.
It's true. So I got one of the man. I don't know if you planned this segue, Nate, but this is beautiful. So
I didn't.
One of the books that I'm planning on reading this year is the one that's co-authored by J.J. Abrams and, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, what's your name? Anyway, it's the Ship of Theseus, and it comes shrink wrapped in like a slipcase. And it's like when you open it up, it's like an immersive reading experience because there's like the book itself, and then there's notes in it that are by I'm like another adventurer who's like reading this book, but then there's like media in it. So there's like newspaper clippings and different things that are in there that are not physically attached to the book.
So it could fall out.
Yeah. So that's why it's like shrink wrapped, and they won't let you open it in the store because they don't want to lose the bits. And it's got like a slip cover too. Cool. So yeah, it's on my like reading list this year. I might start it. We'll see. I might start it.
Ship of Theseus is what it's called.
Yeah, I think it might be called S. Actually,
I just searched it on Goodreads and I saw both. I saw S and Ship of Theseus. So cool. Well, how did that come about? Like, is it a fictional story?
Yeah, it's something that was crafted to be like a slightly different type of reading. That is my understanding.
It's like you're discovering this information about this tale.
And so supposedly there's stuff that you can like figure out. So I had somebody, the the bookseller at Barnes & Noble, where I bought it, was like, yeah, so when you open it up, you're going to be a little confused. Don't let the stuff fall out. And at the time I didn't know. I was like, ooh, what stuff? And she's like, there's just stuff. No spoilers.
Things.
Don't let it fall out. Smell the books. She was like, so my recommendation to you, if you have the time, is read the book itself. Ignore the scribblings in the margins. Ignore the stuff that comes with it. Keep it where it is. And just read that, and then read it again, and then read the stuff around it, to get like the full like experience. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's part of why I've put it off for so long.
How long is the book?
Not super long. It's only like, it's hardback, and it's only like yay thick, 1.5 inches.
Oh, okay.
2 inches maybe.
So you haven't started it yet?
I haven't. I opened it up.
Smelled it.
Was careful to not like lose any of the stuff that came in it. And then I put it back in a slipcase and put it on my shelf in my headboard, which is my like TBR shelf.
Nice. Awesome.
So yeah.
Well, that does sound like an interesting experience because, some books don't have pictures. Other books have some pictures. Some of them have like footnotes or notes in the margins.
So this book comes with
everything.
So the annotation, so to speak, is part of the reading experience, the initial reading experience, which makes me wonder, like, so has anybody else come through and annotated their own?
Would that be like a biblical concordance kind of thing, but a concordance isn't like
a concordance
is just commentary on.
No, separate. A concordance is like,
I don't know.
I want to find all of the references to the word love. And so you go to your concordance, which has all the words from the Bible. I suppose there could be concordances for non-biblical works. I just have never found any.
That's the only context that I know of that.
And so then you look up the word love, and then it tells you all the places that word is found.
Oh, okay. So am I conflating concordance with like straight up commentary, like where somebody
commentary
has
would be like
on this, this chapter, this verse, blah blah blah.
Yeah, and that could be on anything. I see like Barnes & Noble has like a literary poetry and literary criticism section now. And so I've kind of poked at some of those, and some of them are almost like reprintings of the actual book, but with the commentators' notes on it. So they're like, oh, you can see in this chapter, blah, 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 blah.
Interesting. All right. Well, we are together to record a podcast, obviously, but we came together specifically for this episode. Wait, was that a surprise to you?
I'm shocked. Is that what this microphone is for?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No. Yeah. That's just my own thing. Even though we're, you set it up, but it's my thing. So for today, we came together specifically to talk about a year in review and maybe what lies ahead for next year. Specifically, we've been talking about books, so we're probably talk a lot about books. Maybe dive into our reading challenge from Goodreads, with how we did, and what our what goals we're setting for ourselves for next year. Yeah.
So, did you set a reading goal for last year?
I did.
Wow.
I didn't make it though.
Oh no. How many? What did you set as your reading goal?
Okay, let me look. I think it was like 8, but I only hit 4. Better. Yeah, I hit 4.
Okay.
So, what about you?
I didn't set an actual number that I recall. At least I didn't enter it into Goodreads.
Did you read like 20 books or something?
I read... I did read a bunch of books, though. It's a little tricky because Goodreads is a little weird about adding... I kind of forgot how to add books that I've already read.
Oh.
Because I count my audiobooks, too, as having read them.
Well, and we've discussed this, that rereading a book still counts.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Whereas before we discussed that, I was always like, I can't count it because I've read this already. It's it's not new ground. I'm just going back over the same thing, so I can't count it. But now I'm going to count it.
Yeah, so it looks like 23 books for me total last year.
But you said that's not quite accurate. Is there
that's
more?
Roughly accurate. I think there's a couple more because I don't think I actually updated all of the audiobooks that I listened to last year. I started going through the Dresden Files again, and I got through book 13 as completed in that year.
How many books are in that?
Currently, 17, not including the like short stories.
You read quite a few?
Yeah. So
did you listen to them all, or
yeah,
you did?
Okay. I strictly listened to them this time. I love the narrator. James Marster is fantastic. Spike from Buffy, if that helps.
I'm sure I'd recognize him. I mean, I recognize the name Spike and Buffy.
Yeah, and then I had like a bunch of other ones. I posted a thing because Goodreads does like a year-end review thing on the desktop site. So I was peeking at that, and so my shortest book was 59 pages, I think, something like that, and my longest book was over 1,200. Yeah, you got it. My year in books. So yeah, my shortest book was The 500 Hats of Bartholomew Covens by Dr. Seuss, which I highly recommend. Like,
right on. Okay,
it's fun. And it's probably my favorite Dr. Seuss book.
I have not read that one.
And it could be, I think I'd be hard pressed. It'd probably take me a while to put together like a hard top 10 list of books, but I would wager that book would be in my top 10. And my longest book is also hard in my top 10, The Count of Monte Cristo, which I read over the summer with my son and Open Eclectic superfan Alexa.
That's right. And that was a fun experience for some of you. Or was it for all of you?
2/3 of us enjoyed it immensely. 1/3 of us, well, I kind of had to drag my son through it a bit. He was reading a different translation. I think that was part of the problem. And
so, did you get him the same translation later, or did he just soldier through the?
He just soldiered through the one he had. So yeah, I thought that was funny in my year in books thing. I was like,
59 to 1,200.
Yeah.
Mine is pretty close in the shortest to longest. Of course, again, I only read. So how many total pages did you read?
Oh, I have to go back and look.
So I got mine pulled up here. So again, paltry 2,973 pages. Shortest book was 564. That was Firestarter by Stephen King, which I'd had on my shelf for a long time. And it was an old copy too. Like, I don't know if it's like original copy, but it's a pretty old paperback copy. And I just like saw it and I was getting ready to go on a trip and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take this and read it. And I did. It was pretty good. Longest was 929. That was Swan Song.
Swan Song.
By Robert McCammon. And that was very good. Although I feel like this is kind of off because maybe not. Because I read the first Game of Thrones book. And
that's a chunky boy.
Isn't that like, I figured that's a long book.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I read 4 out of 8. Yep. That half my challenge.
Yeah. So. I started my year last year with a book called Wonderstruck, which is partially about someone who's deaf. And so it's written from two people's perspectives, one in the present, one in the past. And the one in the present, I think, has text and stuff that you read, and everything in the past is all pictures because it's from the deaf person's perspective.
Oh.
So it's very, or maybe I have that backwards. Anyway, so it was very interesting.
What was it called?
Book, Wonderstruck.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you finished it?
Yeah, I got it for Christmas in 22, and so I started my 23 reading with that one, and you can read it in like 2 hours. Even though it's a thick hardback book.
Recommend?
I do. Yeah, it was really good. It's right there on the shelf. You can see it, the face book. This first white shelf that has books. Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah. So
not the Facebook.
No, not the Facebook. The other one, MySpace. Anyway, so yeah, it looks huge, but then when you start reading it, you're like, oh my goodness, I read like half of the book tonight.
Oh. All right.
Bit like a comic book guy.
Yeah. If you really want to feel accomplished, flip through a bunch of comic books.
I did have one of those on my finished.
I've got a few collections, a graphic. Okay. Comic, graphic novel. What's the difference? Is there a difference?
I don't think
they're the same thing?
So in my mind, personally, right? Like if you get a comic book that's like a single edition or issue of whatever it is. So if you go and get Batman Incorporated number 123, that's like 15 pages or 16 pages.
It's like a magazine, kind of a fancier magazine.
Yeah. And then then when you say graphic novel or something closer to that, then I think, oh, well, that's probably like everything from that season,
right?
So
collection
to speak, that's collected for you and doesn't have ads. And then there's Omnibus, which is like if you take all the graphic novels from a thing and you smash those together into one giant book, then you've got an omnibus.
Right. So there's like one that I'm thinking of is like Walking Dead, and I think they have like compendiums, which are like, and there's like 3 or 4 of those, and then the omnibus is the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
I've got like some omnibus of Usagi Yojimbo, which are pretty substantial. And I think it's 1 volume per year of its publication. So if I were to get all of them, I think I'd have like 35 volumes.
Whoa.
Yeah, Stan Sakai has been going at it for a long time.
It's a lot.
It's the only thing he does. Like he guests on some other things periodically, but like he doesn't move around like some people do or write for a bunch of things. He only does this.
Allows him to be pretty prolific in his output.
Yeah. Japan does not typically accept American comic books and animation a lot. Like they're kind of, I don't know. Snotty is maybe not the right.
Snooty?
Yeah. I don't know if snooty's the right phrase for that. But anyway, Usagi Yojimbo is loosely based on the life of Miyamoto Musashi, who is a famous samurai. And there's certain things in Japanese lore that has been incorporated into Usagi Yojimbo. And so there's a section of it called Grass Cutter that's actually used to talk about like the spiritual history, I guess, of Japan a little bit. And that's actually used in some of the schools.
Really?
So he's like, one of the only ones.
And this guy's an American, you said?
He's a Japanese American.
Okay.
Lives in Hawaii.
Cool.
I did not get to see him when I was there. Wrong island. Man, dang it. I know. I was like, what if I see... I know. When I was going, I was like, Stan lives in... Can I call him Stan? Stan lives in Hawaii. Maybe I'll see him when I was there. And I was like, I wonder where he lives. I don't usually like Googling where celebrities live. I think that's a bad habit to get into. And I was like, forget about it. Let's do it. I was like, no, he lives in like Oahu or someplace else. And I went to Maui.
Maui.
Which is fine. Maui's fantastic.
Yeah, I've been there once. My dad is actually, and stepmom, and one of the step siblings in their families is out in Maui right now.
Oh, good for
today.
them. Hey.
Good times.
It's a good place to be.
I wish I was.
Do you?
Temperature here is it's a little cold.
Yeah.
Fellow listeners, or loyal listeners, I should say, it's like single digits right now.
Yeah.
So it's rough times for the Open Eclectic, temperature-wise, and everyone else around here.
Happy to be warm in my basement.
Yes, it is quite comfortable right now. So you hit 23 last year. You didn't really have a goal. I did 8 and I got half. So are you setting a goal for this year?
I did. I set a goal in Goodreads for 20 books this year.
20. All right. I got to look up mine again, see what I set mine to be.
I did put together a reading challenge as well that I shared to my...
You did, and I was interested in that, so you're going to have to pull that up again so I can do it. So I set my goal. So I took what I did last year and I added 2. So I have 6. So I'm obviously not as prolific as you. I've already used that word twice at reading, but I do like reading, and I want to try to challenge myself a little bit. So yeah, so 6, and if I exceed it, great.
So if you do everything on the 2024 reading prompts that I did, if you do each book as its own thing, and there's no rules with this, like JD was like, well, can I do like one book, and if it covers multiple, does that count? And I was like, it's your reading, man.
Sure.
I'm not like policing.
You're not getting graded on this.
There's no grades. There's no like prizes for people who complete it. I'm not gonna like demand that you give me a book report.
We don't get a pizza party if we.
You know what? Let's do a pizza party.
Okay.
I think we should do it.
That would be hilarious. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I don't think
not even hilarious. That'd be great.
I just think you're onto something. I think at the end of this year we should just be like, yeah, this is going to be our reading.
We should
pizza
like roll
party.
up to a Pizza Hut and be like, can we sit down and eat here still? And they're like, we don't do that.
We don't do that anymore.
Can I get a personal pan pizza, but like 3 of them?
Well, I was just thinking like maybe what we should do, because I've wanted to do this for a while, but I don't know enough people who would commit to it to make it worthwhile, is I kind of want to do like a book white elephant exchange.
Oh, okay.
So everybody brings like your favorite book that you read this year, and then somebody else goes home with it, and you know that's theirs.
That's really cool. That's a good way for people to expand their book collection and maybe get a book that would be like just totally out of the realm of what they would usually read, kind of.
Yeah, I think it could be. I think it has the potential to be pretty fun.
So, how many are doing your reading challenge? You
that I know of.
JD. So that's 3.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 people might be doing it. I'll hit up my reader friend to it from work. Tommy might want to participate.
Sweet.
So yeah, it'd be nice to, I might hit a few people up and just see if we want to do it.
Well, yeah, I like that idea, and I like the idea of the pizza party. I think we should do that. That'd be great. And the white elephant party.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, too.
Yeah. Like t-shirts or something.
Yeah. It could be like an official Open Eclectic event.
So I'm actually wearing my book club t-shirt today.
Oh, very nice.
That I made. I used to have a short story book club that I was a part of, or not a short. Yeah, we were the short story book club that also like to do other cool things too.
You told me about that.
And I made shirts for everybody.
Nice.
1 year.
So we kind of have a book club. We have yet to meet about the book we've been reading.
For the Grapes of Wrath. I know.
So I am caught up.
I am
surprisingly.
Too.
I am too. I think I might have even read one more chapter beyond that.
I was thinking it might just need to do break down and do like a Zoom meeting with everybody or something, just to.
Well, because we have 4.
Yeah, 4 total.
4 total.
And Angela told me she read the whole thing because she had to get it back to the library. And I was like, oh, that's fair.
She's a big reader. I am not surprised that she's just like, I got to get this back in like 2 days. I might as well just read the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Done. And I'd be like, I can't do this. I give up.
And I bought mine from Half Price Books when I was there. So.
Oh, I still have my high school copy, and there's exactly like 3 notes on the inside cover that my English teacher gave. You know, it's like, write this down. Notice this. Yep.
Nice.
And that was it. So I've actually like taken notes and like underlined stuff myself. I sent you a picture. I hope it wasn't like a spoiler when I sent it to you.
No, that was fine.
I don't know if you could gather context from reading it. It didn't tell you exactly what happened, but anyway. So sorry, go ahead.
Well, so like a reading adjacent, and speaking of underlining, I have a hard time writing in books, you know?
Yeah.
I struggle to do it. And, but after reading The Count of Monte Cristo last summer and like I took notes while I read to, you know, cause we got together every week to 2 weeks. Cause we had to read like 10 chapters a week over the summer in order to get it done before, cause the idea was to get it done before Mark had to go back to school.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So I actually made myself like a little book, and I had like put all my notes in here, and I was like, I should and at the end I was like, man, I should like annotate right? I should like highlight and underline and do some color coding.
You should publish your own commentary on the Count of Monte Cristo.
That would be interesting. I couldn't bring myself to do it. And then I was like, you know what? All right, here's what I'll do. I'm going to buy another copy, and that'll be the copy I'm buying specifically for me to write in. The problem is that the translation I want to do it with only has one edition, and there's no room in the margins.
Just tape extra paper to the side of each page that you want to write on.
I know. I was just like, oh, this sucks. Oh. So we'll see. I might still do it. Maybe I'll do like underlining kind of a thing.
Or you could color code. Yeah. I suppose. Post-it notes, I guess. Well, yeah. But like you'd have to reference, if you're going to write it somewhere else, that's like,
yeah,
it's not ideal.
No, it's not. But we'll see. I'm still thinking about it. I want to do it. Yeah,
I know I was talking about underlining things in that. I guess that one, I'm like, well, I already wrote in it for school way back when. So I'm like, I don't feel too bad about writing in it. Other books though, like, I feel like if it's like maybe a self-help book, that one feels like pretty acceptable to underline and write in. Or if it's like a book that's related to, obviously if you're taking it for a class or something, or if it's like related to your work, like it's some work, self-improvement type book or something. I don't feel as bad writing in those, but if it's just like a straight up, just like chapter book, I'm like, I've written in a few of them, but I don't write into those as much. So
yeah, I've seen some people, and I've even watch some YouTube videos and stuff about people who annotate, and they talk about like why they do it and how and some different things. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I should do that someday. But that means I have to write in the book.
Now, so are they all just like they have no problem writing in the books, or do they do like where they buy another copy, kind of like you said, or?
I don't know if I haven't heard anybody say this is my annotation book or something like that. It's just I decided that as I was reading this one, I wanted to annotate and make notes, and if funnily enough, like 2 or 3 people were like, I've always heard the Count of Monte Cristo is really good, so I'm going to do it, and I want to make some notes so that way I can go through and review the book better, and yeah, and then at the end they've got like all these like flagged tabs in it and underlined stuff, and they're like flipping through it, and I'm like, dang, they were serious.
Yeah, like if you're gonna put sticky notes and you're gonna highlight in different colors, like you have to have a system.
Yeah,
because otherwise it's just like that's how it is with my Kindle, like the Kindle, because you can highlight in different colors and all that and put notes in and whatever. I do that sometimes, but I'm like, today I feel like blue means sad, and today and red is angry, and yellow is but it can change. So I'm just like, there's no system. Not that it really matters, because it's just like for me. But yeah. So okay. So you're reading over 20 books. Your goal for next year?
I think my goal for this year is 20 books. 20 is what I said, and yeah.
I said 6.
Obviously, I'm not going to stop if I'm like halfway through the year and I've hit 20, You're
like, I'm way over pace. I'm just going to stop.
Yeah, I'm going to slow this down.
Slow it down.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I put together those reading prompts. A book you own but haven't read, reread a favorite, a historical book, a book to improve your life. That might be a good one, like you were saying, to highlight and stuff.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
A New York Times bestseller from your birth month and year.
Oh.
Yeah, which I thought...
You need to send that to me. Send that to me on Google or wherever.
A book based on its cover art, a book by and I put local in parentheses, author, because maybe you don't have one that's specifically from Lincoln, or you can count surrounding cities. So,
sure.
Yeah, I already
What about
have.
the state?
Sure, whatever you want to define as local. Like I said, that's not...
Earth.
Yeah, absolutely. This solar system is fine. Yeah. A book from the kids section, and I put kids in parentheses, because that could be like the YA,
or just straight up kids books.
A book over 100 years old, a holiday themed book, and a book you picked up just for this list.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
so yeah, kind of a tight.
I think I'm already kind of knocking out some of those things right now. Because one of them was like rereading a book, which I can do that. I can read. I can do that. Another one was like a book you own but haven't read, right?
Yeah, I was like, so for me when I was coming up with these, I was like, all right, I've got a bunch of books that I've purchased that are on my shelf upstairs. I need to knock some of those out this year.
Yeah. I kind of have one in mind that could count for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pirate book.
Ooh,
nonfiction. It's about pirates.
I'm gonna read American Prometheus this year as well. That's a chunky book.
Who wrote that?
That's the book that the Oppenheimer movie is based on.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we actually have that too.
Yeah,
I have not started reading it yet.
I haven't either. Yeah,
it's a big boy.
It is. It's a little intimidating. I don't.
But it has pictures in the middle.
That's true.
Now, when you get a book like that, that's about like a historical figure, or based on a true story. Do you immediately flip to the pictures and look at those, or do you make yourself read all the way through till you get to the pictures?
It kind of depends sometimes. If it's a book I'm not sold on, then I'll look at the pictures and be like, all right, this person had an interesting enough life. I'll read it, Sometimes though, there's a book called The Seventh Escape. That's about a guy who escapes from, he's a prisoner of war and he escapes from the Nazis 7 times as it happens.
Whoa.
So there's pictures in that, and I deliberately did not look at any of those when I read that one. I read the book first, and even when I got to them, because they were in the middle, so I got to them, and then I skipped over it, and then I finished it, and then I went back and I looked at the pictures because, and then I was glad that I did because they definitely had spoilers, because they were pictures, mainly pictures of him after the war and like with people, and so like, oh, that person survives and that person survives, and so. You
wanted no spoilers.
Yeah.
Read it.
I typically prefer the no spoiler method, but
I was reading. So speaking of books about like real people and, that would be interesting to read. I saw something about Howard Hughes. Apparently he was a very eccentric, interesting.
I saw the movie.
Interesting guy. I did not.
Oh, really?
Was that The Aviator? Is that what that was called?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Did not see that. Apparently he suffered from like crippling OCD. Mm-hmm. Did not know that. I'll have to look and see what the title of the book was, but maybe I'll add that to my want to read list.
There you go.
Goodreads. If anyone's going to sponsor us, it should be Goodreads.
Maybe, yeah.
Anybody want to sponsor us?
Yeah,
just let us know.
I mean, and thank you to those of us who've sponsored us on Ko-Fi.
Yes.
Bought us a Ko-Fi.
Yes, appreciate that. Let's see. So, we've talked about books.
Do you have any non-book related goals for this year?
That's a good question. We kind of did this last year, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Or was it last year? Or was it 2 years ago?
I probably should have re-listened to that episode to see how miserably I failed. I did not finish Breath of the Wild last year.
So you haven't finished that yet?
No, I blew it. I didn't do that. I did not do a picture a day like I was planning last year.
But you did that like a couple years ago.
I did. Right? It is a big commitment. And
did you hit it? We talked about that, didn't we? Like,
yeah, there was a year where I did it. I hit 365 or more than that technically because I went into like January and. Nice. Oh man, yeah. It's a huge commitment. It's kind of wild to think about because you're just like, a photo a day. That's not that hard, but
if you're actually like staging it, setting it up, like thinking about what it is instead of just being like, look, it's a picture of the table. Look, it's a picture of the floor.
Right.
Obviously you want to put more into it than that. Yeah.
I did do the MeWe Toy Photographers Challenge bingo challenge last year. Was they were like, instead of doing like a monthly challenge, we're going to do this. And so it was like 24 prompts. And yeah, then you could just do whatever you wanted. And you could do them all at once if you wanted, or you could space them out throughout the year. I left like 6 of them to the end of the year. And I decided when I first saw that I'm going to do it twice. And I'm going to do it once with Woody and once with this Gomez figure I have, who's a cockroach in a suit. And just to see, I don't know, just for the fun of it. And it was going to be the same photo, different subject kind of a thing. So whatever staging I did, I did it for both of them. And that was a lot of fun. And the Woody ones, I think, ended up being better, which surprised me. And then at the end of the year, maybe it was, a week ago, we did like a meetup, and everybody who participated in it, we kind of went through each other's photos and talked about some different things. Anyway, that was a big enough challenge that I completed.
Cool.
But yeah, I didn't do that, and I didn't do Breath of the Wild. I got distracted. I didn't know when I made that commitment that Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 were going to come out on the Switch. So that really sucked me in.
Did you finish all those?
No, I haven't finished them. But
I guess they only came out, a couple months ago?
Yeah, September, I think.
September.
Not that long ago.
Well, and now you get Breath of the Wild, and then you got Tears of the Kingdom.
I don't think I'm going to play that.
Did Martin get that one?
He did not.
No?
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Did he get the other, the one that came out after Breath of the Wild, the more
no
cartoony looking one,
no.
or no? Didn't get that one.
He really liked Breath of the Wild. He's beaten it like 3 or 4 times.
But just that one.
Just that one. Yeah. Just that one.
I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
And sometimes games just click, just speak to you, and you're like, you know what? I love this, and I'm just going to do it over and over again.
Yeah. That's I've beaten Metal Gear Solids 1, 2, 3 1, 2, and 3 probably a dozen times each.
Wow. That's a lot of times.
It is a lot of times.
For the same game.
Yeah.
Same games.
Especially when you remember the first one came out on the PlayStation 1.
So that would have been like 98, 99-ish.
I probably didn't play it until 99, 2000. But still.
Well, because you let me borrow the first one.
Yeah.
And I clearly didn't get very far. But I made it to like the second. No, I made it to a boss level. The one. And you had to give me a hint. You had to tell me. You're like, oh, you have to plug your controller into the second player.
Yeah, because he reads your mind, air quotes. If you have other Konami games in your memory card plugged in at the time, he'll talk about like, oh, I see that you like Castlevania and this game and this game. And, yeah, if you're not expecting it, it was real freaky at the time. And then there was like a trick where you move you unplug your controller from player port 1 to 2.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Just give everybody hints. That's fine for when you go back and you play this 25, 30 year game.
If you don't know.
Now you know.
And now you know. Yeah.
Yeah. The other trick is to shoot the statues. If you can destroy the statues real quick.
So how does that encounter work on the Switch then?
Great question. So you can pause the game and you can go in and basically tell it controller port 2.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's the same. He does the same thing.
Yeah.
So if you're just trying to play with normal controls, it's like, nope.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
So you just tell it. It's like it's a thing in the pause that's buried in the pause menu. Yeah.
That's great. That's awesome. Okay, so I don't even know if I had any goals last year. I'm sure I did if I listened to that episode. That's why I should listen to it too. But
I was gonna lose weight last year too. I think that was on my list, or to like kind of focus on my health a little bit more. And I don't know what I weighed at the beginning of last year, but about 2 weeks before Christmas, I started weighing myself like every day before I take my shower.
Okay.
So I get the true weight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right in the morning.
Yeah. My bowel system switched too, so I'd like take a dump right in the morning too.
Offload as much as you can.
Wasn't intentional. I don't know how that worked. It kind of happened. Anyway, so since then, I was at like not one. I haven't been one for a long time. So I was at 218 or so about then, and as of this morning's weigh-in, I'm at I was at 202.
Wow.
And I've seen flat 200 like one day. I don't know if I just didn't eat the day before or what, but like
You're not retaining as much water.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah. Awesome. Well, that's good. I mean, it's slightly past the year, but it's close.
At the beginning of the
year. It's close enough. Good job. I feel like I'm always on an eternal, it's an eternal struggle for me to lose weight. And I haven't been very successful at that, but I'm really trying lately, like the last couple weeks, or at least this last week. Okay, it's just today. No, it's been about this week. I've been trying
just now. I decided.
Yeah, just right now.
Right now, I decided.
Trying to be a little more mindful. I got an app to track it. I might track what I'm eating on my phone. I weigh myself in the morning. I've dropped a couple pounds. So
nice. With those food tracking apps, like when I did that for a while, and I found that like part of what helped me lose weight is that I didn't want to take the time to figure out how to add whatever meal I was having to the app, and like that was a big deterrent for me. So I was just like, eat? So I just wouldn't eat. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna have some carrots. Because that's easy to track.
They're like free, basically. Yeah. Wow. So that is a thing. That's a struggle with those apps. Is you're always like, okay. Because if you let yourself just kind of go off the rails and you're like, well, I can't really track. It's just a little harder to track that. But then, but for me, so I'm like opposite of you. I'm like, that wouldn't be a deterrent to me at all. I'd just be like, I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to eat whatever. I don't care. I wouldn't not eat. I would just like, I'm going to be mindful.
Right.
But I'm not very good at being mindful. So
yeah, I have that problem. I have a chip problem actually. Like if I open a bag of chips, I have to buy myself small bags of chips, because if I open a big one, then that's one serving. Sometimes,
my friend.
So,
it's a struggle. It's a struggle for many of us.
I really like, there's not a good enough reason for me to work from home full time again. But during the COVID era, that was great for me food wise, because I would wait to eat until like 10:30 to 11, and I would eat a moderate amount of food. Like I didn't go crazy, but then I wouldn't eat again until dinner. So I was doing like 2 meals a day, and that was fine. If I needed a snack, I'd get up and I'd have like a little snack, and then I'd go back out to my garage office at the time. It was better for like my controlling my caffeine intake as well.
Really?
And, yeah.
See, when you started saying that, I thought you were going to say like, man, I just went crazy. I ate everything, and I was that's interesting.
Yeah, I was I was like at home in my home office. So if it was like a boring or like a really slow day on the phones, or if I was doing a lot of processing, I could turn something on my other like screen, or like I had like a TV out there, I'd, listen to a podcast or something. And that's like a lot easier to do when you're working from home versus in the office, and somebody walks in and is like, what are you watching? What the heck are you doing? You're not supposed to be streaming.
I'm only thinking about work. That's it.
Yeah. So I was still getting my work done. I think I was maybe more effective at home working full time. And so like I had that stuff. So when I was more distracted, because like honestly, I don't know, like no matter what job I have, no matter how much I like it, I get bored.
I think everybody does.
And I get and then I start thinking about like munchies, and I'm like, it'd be great right now. It's like, what if I had some Cheez-Its or nachos, or I don't know. And then like you eat it, and then it's a problem. Yeah. So I found that working from home, like I don't know. I did a lot better about controlling my intake.
It's interesting. Because like, yeah, you continually amaze me, Josh. Because like, I mean, I've been working from home since 2020, and so that is the norm now. That's what I do. I guess I haven't I don't know. I don't think I have as much self-control as you in that regard. Maybe in all regards. I don't know. But, sometimes, some days I'm better. Some days I'm not as good. But like I said, especially this week, been trying, dropped a few pounds. Hopefully I can keep building on that. Keep building by losing.
Yes.
Build by losing. I should trademark that.
In October too, I made sure to do like 10,000 steps a day, every day. Whoa. Without fail, I did 10,000 steps. And I have like a little underdesk. We have a underdesk peddler type thing here at home, and I actually have one in my office too. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit under my office desk. It's too low, my desk, so like I slap my knees on it all the time. But but like if I don't want to socialize with my coworkers, because I have a small office that I work in, so when one person goes on a walk, everybody goes. And sometimes it makes it a little awkward if I'm like, you guys are walking too slow. I need to go for a sprint today. So sometimes I'll stay in my office and read and then like pedal while I'm reading.
There you go. That's cool. 10,000 a day.
Yeah.
I just checked how many steps I have from working at home, and I didn't do anything else. 2,000.
Yeah. So I'm at 7,900, but I did go to a couple of stores tonight to kind of grab a couple of items. Since we're expecting inclement weather. Yeah.
Weather. Yeah, that is a struggle for sure. I definitely get less steps being at home.
Yeah.
Now, I have a dog, so if I walk the dog during the day, I can get some good steps, but I would be hard pressed to hit 10,000 unless I walked really far or multiple times or something.
Yeah. Playing, my son got me into playing Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah,
around that time. Yeah. So like we'd go down to the college, but we have a college pretty close, so we'd go down there and walk around and hit the gyms and do raids and walk around quite a bit. So that helped a lot. But
I played that a little bit. I actually have it on like the location thing, so it can read my location even when it's not open.
Oh yeah.
So I haven't opened it in a while, but when I do, it'll probably be like, oh, egg hatch. Yeah, I hatched an egg. But I did that. Yeah, my son actually got into that. He so he doesn't have a phone, but he has an iPad.
Right.
So we went for a walk a couple times, and like I would let him tether, use the hotspot on my phone as his internet.
Nice.
So he could still catch Pokemon. So he was into that. He's way more into the cards right now.
Yeah.
And I actually started collecting them too.
That physical media, man.
I know. It's great. Getting them in your hands. It's not the same to play the games on like your phone or your iPad,
Yeah. I can't do the cards.
No?
No. And you know why?
Why?
Because I'll get too into it again.
Oh.
Just like I did with Versus. That was a problem for me for a while.
That game was so cool.
It really was.
Did I give you my cards?
You did. I have them. I think they're in a box still. I haven't unpacked them.
So this would be Marvel versus trading card game for the listeners, right?
Yeah.
So did they discontinued the game, right? We were into that pretty hard for a while.
We did. We played that all the time. Yeah, it was so cool.
So awesome.
You build your deck and you get a new card. Oh man.
So they have a new game.
Yeah, and it's not.
And we tried it and it wasn't the same.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed playing it. I was like, yeah.
It wasn't quite the same as just getting your deck of cards and like playing each other. So
I have a coworker whose kid is into Magic the Gathering apparently. And he was like, I just don't really can you explain this to me a little bit? And I was like, oh, here's my rudimentary understanding. And he was like, oh, so do you play much? And I was like, no, I can't. I'm not allowed. And he's like, what do you mean you're not allowed? And I was like, I would get way too into it. You know how deep a hole you can go in with Magic the Gathering? That collectible card game's been out for 30 years or more.
Yep.
I was like, that would be just so financially irresponsible of me.
Maybe I shouldn't tell you this.
I would never financially recover.
Because they do collaborations with different IP, I guess.
Yeah, they do now, don't they?
Like they did a Lord of the Rings one. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, because there was the one ring, right?
The unique card. There's copies.
Because it was a shiny too, right? It was a foil holographic.
You could buy reproduction ones, but the true one was going to be worth a lot.
I saw some dude like Macklemore or somebody buy
Post Malone.
Post Malone. I don't know.
It was $2 million or something. It's just yeah. The guy's Post Malone's how much you want for it? He's like, $2 million. He's like, okay, yep. Check. He's like, yeah, I just made $2 million.
Right? I mean, good for that guy.
Yeah.
It's those games are a lot of fun. I did collect a little bit of Legend of the Five Rings. I did finally get rid of all those cards a year or two ago, which I liked a lot. But again, it was one of those collectible games where I don't know.
Well, it's it's similar to especially with the collecting part. I think that's what I care about more. It's not even the gameplay. It's just like, it's the process. It's the getting and the looking at and putting them in pages in a binder and then putting them away.
I get really into the deck building too, actually.
Yeah. That can be fun, although I struggle with that. I'm not as good at doing that.
I can think deviously enough. So like my Jared, he got me into L5R, and I started putting together a deck, and he was like, so we got together to play, and he had, a really nice, well built deck that, I don't remember if he'd done tournaments at the time, but I was like, well, let's get together and play. I want to test my deck. And I was like, I'll probably lose because I've only played like twice or whatever. And we played, I almost had him. Like, it was real close. And he was like, what did you do here? So I started explaining like my thought process for building the deck. And he was like, oh, I never thought of that.
Nice.
He's like, that was cool though. Anyway.
That's still a game too? Like people...
No, that game, right after I started collecting it, they changed some things in it, and it really alienated their fan base, and people kind of started dropping it, and they weren't accruing new members or new players.
So they just like, we're going to shut the doors. We're done.
Yeah.
That's too bad. That sucks about the Versus game too, because like I forgot about that until like just now.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember we spent a lot of time trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I was like, do you got them around here somewhere?
I probably do. I've got most of my games on the shelves now. There's probably the Hellboy deck and my Batman stuff from Versus is probably, it might still be in a box actually.
Backs.
I don't see it immediately on the wall, and those ones are harder to miss.
Yeah, I had a bunch of those. Yeah, and I think I did give them all to you.
Yeah, we should bust those out.
We could still play with them.
We can,
right?
Yeah.
That'd be, man. JD, we could get him in. We could.
I have his too, I think.
Do you?
Oh no, they're right there. They're right there. I knew it. See that oatmeal box? That oatmeal box was either yours or JD's, and the bag above it is the other one. That one is probably your stuff. No,
this is my deck box right here. Oh. Can I open them?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, dude. Oh yeah, I remember the Velcro. Look at that. These cards are so cool.
They really are. That's the thing. Is like they just
so cool.
Yeah, I think. Oh yeah,
we're geeking out here, kids.
My counters.
Geeking out.
Oh yeah, plot twist cards, locations. These games have a lot of appeal because I realize that they're luck of the draw. For anybody who doesn't know,
foil.
You purchase cards, and then you choose which ones you want to play with in your deck, and you kind of battle against other people's decks. And there's rules and stuff governing like how they work together and how they interact together. And that to me is fascinating because you're limited. You need like minimum of, 25 cards for a deck, maximum of 40 or so. That's the thing that like intrigues me too about like Magic the Gathering is there's so many cards that you could literally just never play the same game twice, like the same hand, so to speak. There's it's such a complex system of cards that you can have work together that you can make like a Turing computer out of cards. There's like a whole video on it that I saw. It's really incredible. Yeah, it just because it's been around long enough that you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. And the same thing with this. I like the figuring out how stuff works together. Oh yeah, here's my Hellboy counters.
Yeah, see, like the whole deck building, that's like, I know that's where, where the, your success is going to be is making a deck that works well with cards that work well together.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's like kind of overwhelming to me. So I think I just need to put a little more effort into it if I were to pick up a game and play, or like Pokemon or whatever.
The fate things. I was collecting the fate cards. That's right. So there's a character called Dr. Fate, and you can collect in Versus. You can collect items that you can equip to your characters to give them certain bonuses. And so you could collect his helmet, his like belts, his cape, and like one other thing. And you could equip them all, and every time you added to it, it grew even more. So like each item gave you a +1, let's say. But then if you had 2 items, it was like a +1 for each other fate item you had equipped. So if you had all of them, it became this like OP kind of thing. Anyway,
I see.
Yeah, totally forgot about that.
Nice. Yeah. No, I get what you mean about like getting sucked in. Like it's kind of similar to like I said, for me, it's almost more the collecting part.
Yeah.
So like it reminds me of sports cards.
Yeah.
Like football, baseball. I would buy packs, and I had quite a few cards when I was a kid. But then as an adult, when I had a little bit more expendable, what do you call it? Discretionary spending, extra money to spend.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to complete the whole set, like 200, 300 cards, which I never did. Right. But it's like, I guess it's not a waste. Some people would say it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not.
Maybe it is.
Whatever, what value you get out of it. But it's like, it's such a huge amount of money. And it's like time, because you're looking through the cards. You're like, oh, duplicate. Okay, here's number 1. Here's number 2. Number 3. Putting them in order and all that. It's definitely a hole you can fall into. Whether it's whether it's the getting and the strategizing, and the deck building, like you said, or just the collecting.
There should be a way to play fantasy football based on the sports cards. Or like something.
There probably is.
There's got to be a way.
There's board games for football, so it's kind of similar. I mean,
just thinking like because those cards, baseball, football cards, they're not. They're collector and informational, right? They're not. It's not like you play a game with them.
I want to say that Topps, which is a big card, company, memorabilia company, they had I know that they had an online, like a phone based like baseball card collecting thing where you actually could battle, I think, with other people.
Interesting.
And I think there's also like a soccer one too.
Because that could be kind of cool to be like, you're
that would be
collecting
cool.
them and then,
Yeah, because like with sports cards, it's purely like you said, it's the collecting, because there's no game in it. It's just the collecting part.
Yeah.
So
I have a collection of baseball cards actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was a kid, they're all in sleeves in my in like a binder.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
my dad got me a bunch. I don't know. When I was a kid, I was like, yeah, baseball cards.
Yeah, I got a bunch of those too.
They just sit there.
Yeah, I got like 3 or 4 binders of football, baseball, basketball. I mean, not 3 or 4 of each, but total. Yeah. I don't know what to do with them.
Supposedly my dad has a couple from like the 20s and 30s, like real antique old ones.
Those are pretty valuable.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing, like that's another trap you fall into. People are like, oh, if I pull this one, it's really valuable and I could sell it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, but you're probably not going to get it. And even if you did get a card that some website or magazine tells you is worth a lot, you're probably not going to get that much money for it.
And you got to find a buyer for it, and that's its own.
And they're going to take a cut, or you take it to a card shop to sell, they're going to take a cut.
Yep.
It's just you can't win unless you like
collect them for you if you want to. I think.
Yeah.
Like Beanie Babies.
Did you collect those?
I had a small collection of Beanie Babies. I think we still have them. The kids probably have them somewhere. Yeah.
I never really got into those.
Yeah. I mean, I was a kid. I didn't get into them for like the investment value.
Sure. You're just like, it's cool.
There's a really sad documentary that's on YouTube about, who was it? There's like a famous actor or sports person who like insisted, because this was the belief at the time. For anybody who doesn't remember the Beanie Baby craze, people believed that you could collect these and that this was an investment in your future because of how sought after they were at the time. And of course, the Beanie Baby bubble burst. So this guy had like 3 sets of every Beanie Baby, tons of these freaking things, right? Blew his family's savings on them, college funds, everything.
Oh my goodness.
And was like bagging them up and sealing and like doing all stuff to preserve them. And everybody's like, what are you doing? What about our, future and our college? And he was like, your future is set. Look right here, and he's serious. This is how people treated it. And then when all of a sudden everybody just there's just a moment in history where everybody looked at each other and was like, this was dumb, wasn't it? And then that was it. Right? Like people would, when they introduced the teeny beanie babies as McDonald's toys, the lines were out the store. Just people waiting they would buy a Happy Meal and throw it in the trash and take out the Beanie Baby. And that was it. And so that's part of when McDonald's started switching to be like, if you want to just buy a toy, just buy the toy. Like, don't waste the food. Yeah.
Wow.
It was wild.
I should watch that documentary because I always heard about Beanie Babies, but I never really realized just how just over the top it was.
I have a book about it in my Audible library about it. I think it's called The Great Beanie Baby Bubble or something like that.
And hard to say.
Periodically, there's pictures that'll come up, and it's like, this is the saddest, most depressing picture I've seen, where a husband and wife are in court and they're getting divorced, and the judge is making them split up the Beanie Babies in court, and then making it an official thing of yes, these Beanie Babies belong to this spouse.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just.
I think I heard about that.
It's amazing.
So I see you've got some Versus cards here that are in plastic.
I bet those are JD's or were
Superman.
The Great Beanie Baby Bubble is what the book I read is called. Mass Delusion and the Dark Side of Cute. Yeah, and now if you have those things, Goodwill will sometimes refuse them.
Beanie Babies?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Toys from the Past here in Lincoln, they sell them for 50 cents to $1.
Wow.
In today's economy.
I didn't realize just how, like I said, just how big they were. I knew they were big, but I didn't know they were that big.
Huge. Yeah. The guy, Ty, because the brand is Ty, T-Y. Mm-hmm. Apparently that guy was just
a reclusive billionaire.
Speaking of OCD, the people who were selling these things, he would do display tips and tricks and all kinds of stuff to make sure they're displayed and shown properly. And yeah, it was wild. And periodically he tries to make a comeback. There's these cutesy ones with the big heads and big eyes that are chibi animals. And
so he's still making stuff?
The company is still producing stuffed toys.
I wonder how much one of them would cost. Let's go find their website.
A new one?
Yeah.
If you got an average size one, so, two fists together, that big or so, I want to say that's $6. And they come in different sizes.
Oh, okay. So they have holiday, beanie boos, beanies, bundles, beanie bellies, squishy beanies.
I think, so I remember there was some kiosks at the mall here, and I remember my mom buying the Princess Diana themed Beanie Baby.
Oh, yeah.
For
$6 for beanies.
$30. Yeah. Yeah. It's just an average plushie now.
They have pricing on the website from $0 to $49.99.
Cute. Wow. I have an appraisal book somewhere from a specific year that was the list of all of them and how much they were worth.
Yeah.
And
that's just like sports cards.
Just
the Beckett
cards.
Beckett monthly or whatever it is, or you could look up your set and you can find your card and be like, oh, in mint condition, it's worth this much.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's something, man. It was something.
Wow. Whoa.
Wow.
Let's see. So, do we have any other goals? I think we asked that, and then we got sidetracked because we always get sidetracked.
What? Never.
I think continuing physical health or improving that is always kind of just on there. Now, obviously, some years more successful and more motivated than others. Obviously, as you get older, every year you get older, it becomes more and more important.
Yeah.
So I'd really like to make that make some strides in that regard. Other than that, just I don't know. I guess just try to make your life better, however big or small. You know, it doesn't have to be certain goals. Just if it makes you happy, it's great. What about you?
Oh man, yeah. I just I think I want to finish getting the house settled because I moved in November last. Been here for a little over a year now, and
I remember that. Helping you move.
Yeah, so it's been great in the new place, but like I need to finish getting some kind of odds and ends done.
But you know, there's going to be some things that you never touch, right? Because that's just the way. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
There's those boxes in the garage that just stay in the garage.
So part of, I'll even get more specific. Part of the getting settled though is like I actually want to do a bit of a purge. I want to have the kids kind of come down and look at some of these games and be like, okay, be honest. When's the last time you touched Hi-Ho Cherry-O?
I want it though.
Yeah.
No.
You know, and some of the like the little kid games we would keep just because, you know, periodically we will have smaller kids.
Yeah.
Come over and I'd want to keep them. But some of them, I'm just like, yeah, we can get rid of a couple of these. And you know, some other things too. Man, I've been thinking about, speaking of collections, I have a Batmobile collection. I need to either get it displayed or probably do a purge and get rid of a bunch of those.
How many are we talking here?
A lot.
Okay, I'm gonna throw out a number. You tell me higher or lower. 50.
Honestly, I think I have 75 to 100.
Now this is all sizes, right? This is like Hot Wheels
Varying
car,
sizes.
Hot Wheels car to
Lego.
Okay, you don't have an actual car size one.
Not yet.
Oh, you think there's an auction? There's someone selling one?
There's a guy following Instagram whose name I can't remember. I'm sorry, guy who's definitely a subscriber to the Open Eclectic.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Sorry, dude.
He built his own in his garage. He modified a car and built it out and painted it. It looks sick, man.
Does it look like the Michael Keaton one?
No, it looks more like, oh, this is going to be a little confusing. The TV show, the Batman one, or maybe Batman Brave and Bold, somewhere. Wait, one of those
TV show, like not Adam West.
Not Adam West. It's not it's not Batman the animated series.
Are you talking the Batman show on like Fox?
One of them, yeah. Maybe Batman Brave and Bold.
Oh, okay.
Or
was that the most recent one? Or
sure.
No? Okay.
But yeah, it looks more like in that vein.
I haven't seen the latest Batman show.
I haven't either.
I've heard, or what it was, Gotham or something? Is that what it was called? Or
I think the latest show would be like.
Well, I guess that's what I'm thinking. I guess that's not the latest.
Like the R-rated Teen Titans one. I didn't hear anything great about it, so
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm out of the loop.
Yeah, out of the loop. I kind of. Yeah. Anyway, it's a little bit of a problem. Like I'm at the point where I literally also need to decide if I'm going to continue down this path. I need to catalog.
Yeah, that would help you organize.
Yeah, I got a couple of Lego ones, and I've got a not even the big Lego one somehow. And then I have a 3 3/4 scale Batman the Animated Series one that's similar to the one that I had as a kid. That's probably 2 feet long, 18 inches, somewhere in there.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. I like it a lot. Yeah. So I need to decide. Yeah. So like there's a Bat Cycle from the Batman up there, and then there's a little small Batman the Animated Series one right there. And there's like you can see the tail end of the Adam West Lego one right there. You know.
Well,
I need to, like I said, catalog, organize, maybe purge. Not all of them. I'm not crazy.
Yeah. Nice. I'm trying to think if I have any like collection. I don't think I have anything that would rival that.
That's good. That's, believe it or not, Nate, that is a win.
Well, I don't know, unless you count like old console, like video game consoles. I actually have quite a few.
Yeah. I've got several.
Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Wii U, Wii, Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Sega Genesis, did I say that already?
I actually did a purge of a bunch of those systems. I got rid of like my my SNES, and the Sega, and
where'd you just take them to, like, where'd you take them? Gamers?
Yeah. I took a bunch of stuff into gamers, and I kept the Nintendo because we were playing that fairly consistent for a while.
That's one I don't have. Is the regular Nintendo.
Yeah. I got mine from a Goodwill for like, it was a bundle that had a couple of games and like a dance pad and some other peripherals. Nice. And I got it all for like $15. Mm-hmm. And then there's like a chip in the console itself that like broke down. So I took it into gamers, and I was like, all right, well, let's see how much it costs to get repaired. And you know what? I don't like the dance mat or like some of these games that came with it. So I just took the stuff that I didn't want, and I was like, I want to trade this stuff in and then put it towards getting this repaired. And then it paid for the repairs, and I had like a little store credit.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, this was a sweet deal. I think I still have Super Tecmo Bowl.
Yes. Oh, my favorite.
Takes the pass. Yeah.
That's the Blades of, that's a hockey game.
Or is that the hockey game?
Yeah.
The Blades of Glory, maybe?
Yeah.
And then I got the Super, or the Ninja Turtles game collection for the Switch. Last year too, or maybe the year before, and that is great because it has the Ninja Turtles games on the Nintendo were some of my favorites.
Oh yeah, me too. I know that the first one is like one of the harder Nintendo games.
Yeah,
like that brutal. You can play, and so like I enjoyed it, but I would always get frustrated with it. But the second one, the arcade one, was always like way more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now it's almost not fair too, because you just hit the plus button and you get yourself. That's like adding a quarter.
All right.
It's like, all right, just got 100 lives, no problem.
Did you play the one like the new game that was like kind of similar to that one? I guess they have quite a few of them that are in that style.
Yeah.
Like
the compilation I have, I think, has like 8 games in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. Yeah, we were talking about this on was it TikTok? Like you sent me a video of the Ninja Turtles, the Vanilla Ice scene from the second Turtles movie.
Yeah.
We need to watch. Okay, that's a goal.
Okay.
We need to watch those. Now, I don't know about the other, like the movies that came after. I don't really care about those.
Yeah, I'll just watch that one, I think.
Isn't there one where they go back in time?
Turtles in Time?
Is that the third one?
Yeah, something like that.
I never saw that.
Is that the one where they decided that
like I'm a
having
samurai
swords was too violent, and so they gave him like tonfa sticks or something like that? Anyway, yeah, they nerfed him a little bit. Those movies were wild. I haven't watched them in years. I remember watching one when I was like in 3rd grade or something, 4th maybe.
Yep.
And I got to stay up and watch it because I had to like write out my Valentine's Day cards to my whole class, and I had a big class. So like we had like 32 people in my class.
Take a while.
So I was like, all right, I'll just write down the names and watch this movie. Yeah.
Oh man, I would watch those movies so many times when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Second one, of course, was my favorite, but the first one was great too.
Yeah. I read the last Ronin, which is which is a very sad Ninja Turtles comic.
I should read the Ninja Turtles comics.
It's really good. So I thought about going back and like starting from the beginning. So did you know that the Ninja Turtles are started out as like a spoof basically on Daredevil?
No.
So who's the bad guys for the Ninja Turtles?
Foot Clan.
That's right. You know what the bad guys are for Daredevil? It's a group called the Hand.
Oh, I think I have heard some of this
There's
before.
A bunch of similarities, and I was just like, oh, well, I mean, steal like an artist. That's what it is.
There you go.
In the and then of
now
course
it's all its own thing.
Yeah,
it's just grown into its own thing. That's cool.
But yeah, I've thought about going back and reading the.
Are they still making Turtles comics?
I'm sure they are. The last Ronin is relatively recent.
Huh.
I mean, relatively.
Should check those out.
It was really good. I got it from the library, I think, and plowed through it. It was...
Yeah, I have...
it was really cool.
Speaking of comics, you mentioned this earlier, that you read a few of those as part of your books that you read. So I've got a few graphic novels that I could read. So maybe I'll do that too.
Nice.
Yeah.
We should do...
books I own.
Have you played my Ninja Turtles Munchkin, by the way?
No.
All right. Well, maybe next casual game night we'll have to bust that out.
Right. Yeah. Man, one of my favorite toys when I was a kid, Ninja Turtles. I think I had their like wagon thing. Like their
did you?
Van.
Oh man.
And it had like a bunch of like crap that you could like move, like adjust on it and stuff. And
that thing was so cool.
But my favorite toy was a Leonardo figure that like, it was one where you could convert it from like, you would flip like the head and the legs and the arms in and back. And so it would look like a baby turtle.
Yeah.
And then you flip it out and it would look like, the regular Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, those things were so cool.
Yeah. I wish I knew where that, like what happened to that, but
yeah. Well, it's funny too, because they're doing like re-releases of those.
Are they?
Like, I don't know about that specific one, but I was at Walmart the other day and I was like, I forgot they were doing re-releases where it's like the exact same Ninja Turtles toys from our childhood, but they're brand new.
So cool.
And I was like,
are they really expensive?
No, not really.
No?
No. I've considered, for the art, right? For my toy photography.
Yes.
I've thought about getting some of like the nicer, very articulate Ninja Turtle figures, but man,
that'd be cool.
Those are expensive.
You could put like real pizza in their hands.
I mean, you could. They're still action figure size. They're not life size, but yeah,
you just cut it.
You just cut it smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to check that out. Yeah, because that was really one of my favorite toys. My dad got it for me as like a surprise.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is awesome.
Love it. Absolutely. Way off track here. I don't care. Who's your favorite Ninja Turtle?
I don't know. I don't even know if I had a favorite, honestly.
Yeah.
Because that was Leonardo that I had. Mm-hmm. So I guess I could say Leonardo because he's blue.
Yeah. Raphael because he was red.
Yeah.
But I always like Michelangelo too because, nunchucks.
Yeah. Nunchucks are cool. And Michelangelo was like the party. Like he was right? He was the party. No?
Oh, Michelangelo? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. He was the party. He was like, yeah, man.
He's
like,
the party
kind of the dumb one or whatever. Like Donatello was the thoughtful one.
Yeah, he was. He had like the gadgets. So in some of the newer iterations, he's like super nerdy. Even it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Did you see the newest movie with the?
No, produced by Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
This podcast should be sponsored by Seth Rogen for as much as we invoke his name.
Well, he voiced one of the bad guys, I think.
Yeah.
Like Rocksteady or Bebop or something.
Yeah. It looked interesting. Man, we were Martin and I were talking about going to see that in the theater, and I feel like something else just came up and we didn't.
Spider-Man. Well, Spider-Man, one of the Spider-Mans was coming out
we did
at the same time.
Yeah, Across the Spooderverse.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun. Nice. Yeah, health goals, reading. It's kind of the main stuff. I want to try and settle the house just a bit more.
Are you going to do any photography type challenges?
So I'm actually helping to put together the topics to do another bingo challenge this year.
Okay.
On MeWe.
Nice. That'd be cool.
So I'll hopefully have that done as of this recording, over the course of this weekend. I have that list submitted and get put up. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about like goals for this year, and I was like, I think I just want to like read more. Oh, so it's not like a goal per se, except in the doing. So we're familiar with Goodreads. You track your books, page counts.
Yep.
There's an app where you can track movies that you've watched, and I've decided to just track what movies I've watched this year. Tracked. Is that
Tracked.
TRAKT, I think. Is that the one? I downloaded like 3 of these, and I've been experimenting with different stuff.
Learn to love TV again.
I don't know about that.
Oh
yeah. So it tracks. So this year I've watched Equilibrium and Ocean's 13. So
Equilibrium, that's the one with Matt Damon. Is that the one with Matt Damon?
No. Christian Bale?
Elysium. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh.
Equilibrium.
Christian Bale, the kind of dystopic one.
Oh, is that the one with
fancy gun?
Gun Kata or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yep. Elysium is what I was thinking of. Matt Damon.
Yeah, so I decided I'm just going to, like, you can put TV shows in here too. I decided I don't want to commit to that right now. I'm going to just, like, track the movies and, I don't know, for funsies.
Cool. Good deal.
For funsies.
It's all art.
Sure, yeah, why not? Yeah. I'm going to try and print some pictures this year too. I've decided.
I'm looking at some of the pictures you have printed.
Yeah.
And you gave Eric one.
Yeah, that's right. I did a Yoshi. Or a Mario.
It was a Yoshi. Yeah, like ice skating or something, I think is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, he really likes that one.
Oh, good. Yeah, I should do some more. I was thinking, just I don't know. Why not?
So you got, so you're doing the bingo challenge, reading, movies, physical health, getting your house in order, maybe the Batmobiles.
Yeah.
Health, for me, reading. I guess I'll probably keep it pretty simple there. I don't know. I'm sure I'll think of other things too, but
I do kind of want to try and finish our Star Wars campaign this year. We're like,
we're really close, aren't we? Are we getting close?
The point, yeah, a little bit where we kind of
the GURPS campaign that would be
where we can decide kind of either to end the campaign entirely. It depends on how it goes too, right? Because
we could all die.
You could all die,
get killed,
which would be
tragic.
Well, yeah. I mean,
like, would it be tragic? I don't know.
Yeah, which would be very interesting. We'll see. Again, I always remind them, like, I'm not going to save your characters. I'll let them die. It's fine with me.
We haven't lost anybody yet.
We haven't. We've gotten close.
Yes, we have.
We've gotten close.
Yes.
And yeah. So yeah, I kind of like to round that out a little bit. We'll see if we can pull it off, both because of scheduling and because you have a weird DM.
Nah. Cool DM. So one thing that could be a goal is me writing my own GURPS one-shot campaign. And I've already decided on the topic. It's an X-File. Well, it's an X-Files.
Is it? Okay.
I don't know. I have broad strokes. Well, like one broad stroke. 2. Should I give it now? No. Should I give it now? Should I wait?
That's up to you.
Until we play it.
It's entirely up to you, man.
So my idea is that the plan is that there would be 2 new agents would be the characters that the players would play.
Nice.
And Mulder and Scully, of course, would be in it.
Yeah.
But they would not be player characters. And like the whole point is, I'm thinking, is that these player characters are working, like, they're not even really working with Mulder and Scully. They just kind of encounter them.
Oh,
but the whole point is that you have to you start in the basement where their office is.
Yeah.
And you have to work your way up in this, I don't even know if this is accurate, but in the FBI building, you got to go up like 4 or 5 floors to get to the department where you can rent a car. And that's the whole point of the thing.
That sounds great.
That's it. You gotta make your way through these floors. You gotta get up, get from the basement up to here.
Nice.
And rent a car to go somewhere, to a work conference or something. I don't know. That's it. Awesome. Sounds very bureaucratic.
But why not? I mean, that's like the beauty of GURPS though, right? Like you can run any kind of game. So like a couple of weeks ago, you were going to come and we were going to do like a Home Alone type thing.
I was sick. Yeah.
But Nate was sick. And so what I was originally going to do is I was going to work with my son and he was going to be Kevin, basically. And so I was going to let him set up whatever traps and kind of thing. But then when you got sick and I knew I had a new player who'd never done anything like this before, I was like, all right, we're going to base this on one of my favorite like fan theories about the first Home Alone movie, which is that Uncle Frank was at first of all, to answer the question of what does Kevin's dad do, he's in the mob. Okay, yep. He runs the Chicago organization.
Nice.
And so this is like the fan theory. This is my favorite fan theory about Home Alone. He runs the Chicago family. Even though he's the younger brother and Frank is the older one, Frank is jealous because it should have been him. But we all can see in the movie that Frank would not be like a good choice, right?
No.
It's very obvious why he's not. But it's never obvious to you, is it? So he hires, again, in the movie, he hires the Wet Bandits
Frank does
to burgle the house while they're gone, not knowing that Kevin was going to be there, of course, because it would make him look weak and it was going to like ruin his power base and cause derision. And that would be an opportunity for him to rise. And then of course, shenanigans ensue as we see. So instead of doing Home Alone proper, I decided to run a prequel game to Home Alone. And it was going to be the crews, not the Wet Bandits. It's their first job, working for Frank.
Oh,
so I didn't announce this. I just said we're running it like in the 90s, and you got to call this guy. And so they got to talk to this guy named Frank, who's giving them a job to do where they have to burgle a mall. And so they, we made their character sheets kind of quickly, and it was a nice one shot. And they basically got to go and rob this mall and get away and all this stuff.
And they did it?
Yeah. So then they got assigned at the end. So the end of the gaming session as we're like closing and kind of wrapping up, and they're talking to Frank and giving him what they stole. He's like, all right, well, that was a great, test job for you. I think you can run with our crew, and we got more jobs coming up. First of all, what I'm going to need you to do is to, rob my brother's house on Christmas Eve. And, so yeah, it was
nice.
It was kind of a great wrap around,
awesome.
Which also means that we can, if we wanted to, we can invite them back and you can be Kevin instead of Martin.
Oh.
And you can potentially booby trap your house and we'll have like a little PvP.
Yes. An entire cheese pizza.
Just for me. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the other things.
That's actually Home Alone 2, but yeah.
Is it?
No, that's Home Alone 1. I'm sorry.
Pizza?
He says it in both.
Cheese pizza?
Yeah, because the guy comes to deliver it. Oh man, I love that movie. I love those movies.
Yeah, I been trying to get. I finally got Eric to watch the first one.
Did he like it?
Yeah, he did. Well, we've seen the second one before, but like it's been a couple years, and so like this year Christmas, I was like, should we watch the second one? And he's like, no. I'm like, oh come on. So it's been a while since I've seen that one, but yeah, classic. Did you know that there are like 3 more of them at least? I don't count them.
No, but they're not written by the same people. They don't have the same actors.
No,
it's just
a cash grab. Shameless.
Yeah.
Shameless.
And I think I would have been more okay with those if somebody was just like we talk about Face Off, like remake it every 5 to 10 years with new people in it and completely new people. I would be okay with a Home Alone version of that.
Oh, that would be so cool if they remade it. But it has to be like true to the spirit.
Yeah.
Of it.
Yeah. And I just
but just continuing it with these less and less like budget bin, straight to DVD, straight to Blu-ray.
And the difference is when you come to me and you tell me we've remade Face Off for this time. I got the reins to make a Face Off movie. That's a different story than when you come to me and you say, I've made Home Alone 3. French Stewart is one of the bad guys. I just, no disrespect to French Stewart.
Is he really one of the bad guys?
I'm pretty sure he is. It's not
the same.
Yeah.
Not the same.
Not the same at all. So yeah, hopefully we'll run that and
that'd be cool.
You can be Kevin.
Look forward to that.
Kevin.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so the GURPS thing, I think I'm probably overthinking it too much because I'm like, I gotta write it. Like what is this? Like a TV pilot or something? But I mean, you got to set it up, somewhat, obviously. So
I mean, I've watched some of like Critical Role's stuff that they've done, it is really interesting and good. Would love to sit in on like one of those games. And I've watched even some of like Matt Mercer's videos about like his stuff that he does as he's GMing and whatnot. And so like I watched all that and I was just like, for the campaigns I run, I've just been like, that's a lot of work. I don't think I'm gonna do any of that. When we did the Alta Link, it was kind of railroaded. I really was obvious about like, okay, the guy you met up with, I was like, okay, now that you are here, please go over there and help us, kind of meet in a tavern, very directed,
right.
Go do this. There was some stuff that you guys could choose. And in the Star Wars one, of course, I've just been like, yeah, you can do that. That's cool. You want to go over to this planet and do this? Sure. Let's see who you meet.
Now, has there been situations where you're like, where you didn't have any characters planned because of the decision that the players made? They're like, we're going to go over to this weird place that you mentioned once.
Yeah, when I thought, because that was the planning, the initial city was a hard thing, because I was like, what if they want to like walk down the street and wander into a building? What do I do then? What building is it going to be? How do I do, And I was like, I'm overthinking it. Like,
I mean, you just like shuffle characters. Like, I had them in this building, but since they decided to go here, I'm going to move them here. Or
the beginning part before you guys got off the first planet, I planned out quite a bit. I thought I wasn't sure how murder hobo-y people were going to be. There was, specifically there was a bunker, or the building that you guys were going to go into where JD threw Alexa like up and through a window. That building, when you guys first encountered it, I thought I had set it up well so that it was going to be like a heist type thing. And instead you guys were like smash and grab. So I was just like, okay, cool. That's fine. That's fine. I don't mind at all. It was a lot of fun. So it was just very different, and you never know kind of
what people are going to do.
I've kind of learned that like, if you want your characters to behave within certain parameters, then you got to like find a way to incorporate that into their character sheets to give them motivation. And that way, if somebody's like, well, I'm just going to throw him through a window, you're like, well, but why would your character do that?
Yeah.
So it's just, I've learned a lot about like, okay, here's how we shape this a little better. Cause like, I do want to do a very investigative kind of, my idea is to set it in Casablanca, and basically it's kind of like a hybrid of H.P. Lovecraft and Indiana Jones. So like investigative stuff where like the Nazis are of course moving occult items, and you guys need to like hunt and find it and figure out how to get to it without basically without seeing what the thing is. And that sort of thing. But
why would it like kill you if you saw what it was?
Yeah, because there's certain like concepts in mythos of like
it drives you insane or something.
Yeah, here's this book of Cthulhu, but you know what it is, but you can't read it, because if you read it, you'll go mad. Or sometimes there's the other side of like, well, if you read it and you know about it, that instantly gives power to whatever this is, just knowing what it contains. And so then you guys would have to decide stuff like, oh, well, do we crack it open? How do we authenticate it? It could be a book of blank pages. We don't know.
Interesting.
So yeah, just
that's cool.
That kind of stuff where it's more focused on like social interactions and investigating some different things, avoiding the Nazis. You don't want to like cause a ruckus. That kind of, anyway. So that would be incorporated into the sheets, as opposed to just like, build a cool character. You guys are all friends and do whatever you want.
Yeah, right. Kind of like a little bit more of a guided, mission focused kind of thing. There's some game called like, I think it's called, is it Gloomhaven?
Yeah.
That is that on that, in that same vein?
I've never played
or
it.
Not like, because I've heard people talk about that, and they're like, yeah, we had like an 18-hour Gloomhaven session or something.
Yeah, I've heard of some games, like there's like some pandemic games too that are kind of a little bit more like you play it repeatedly, and the more you play it, the more it changes the game itself.
Oh.
I don't know if it's so far as like that one game that you have where it's like, I have to use this card, rip it up.
Is that? I think that's Gloomhaven.
Gloomhaven might be
where they like cards that you actually destroy.
Yeah.
But I think I want to say that if you want to play that game, it is like quite an investment in like time.
Yeah. And money. That's inexpensive. Gloomhaven's, if I remember right, is like very expensive.
Nice.
Yeah, I definitely want to. Yeah, I kind of want to wrap up the GURPS thing.
GURPS.
I really want to play in your We've been kicking it around for a while, and that's pretty exciting.
X-Files one. I think one of the biggest hurdle for me is just going to be creating the non-player, the NPC like sheets, and then I guess knowing when to roll on for them and when to tell the players to roll, and so I probably just need to watch some videos on how to do it. I mean, I've seen you do it, but
and Alexa.
Yeah, it's true. Yep, Alexa's done it. Yeah.
Well, these are some good goals, I think.
I think we got some good ones. So we'll have maybe next year another goal. We review this episode and prepare.
Yeah,
and we see how we did.
And we can see how we did. That's a good idea. I feel like it feels really obvious now that we're saying it around the mics, but it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. It's all right. One of our I've been talking about GURP specifically with somebody as I've kind of muddled my way through a few things, and I've run. So I have non-gamer people that I occasionally will run a couple of ideas by to make sure that I'm not being too subtle with what I'm hoping is going to happen. Mm-hmm. And because there's always the option of like, if you're setting up a puzzle of some kind and you accidentally make it too hard, then there's a point where you just encourage the players to come up with an answer, and whatever they come up with, you say, yeah, that's it. Good job. Fantastic.
Just get that role play kind of thing going.
Or there's the other option of like, if you set something up and you think, yeah, this is going to be challenging, and they just they just knock it out like, oh my goodness, we do this, then we do this with this, and they nail it, then you can just be like, this is unbelievable, you guys, and there's always opportunity. So I try and run things by because I want to have like a nice medium most of the time. So I was like, yeah, so we actually have a live session, or a session that we recorded and put out. So if you want to check it out, feel free. And she was like, oh yeah, cool. I think I will. And then she was like, wow, that first episode was interesting. And I was like, yeah, what did you think? And she was like, no. I mean, episode 1 of The Open Eclectic. And I was like, oh, you're starting from the beginning.
Oh, wow.
It's like the backstory is not necessary for the GURP session, but that's fine.
Oh, my goodness. Deep cuts.
Yeah.
Awesome. Recruiting another listener. That's great.
Slowly.
I like it.
Calmly. Coolly. Without incident. Yeah, I'm trying to record more regularly this year too, I think.
Yeah. Now, I really like that we split that GURPS episode into 4 chunks.
Yeah.
Because for one, it gave us gave us content that we could, release. We wouldn't just dump it all in one episode.
Yeah, that'd be a big
so it allowed us to get more episodes out, and it was in a more bite-size bite-sized pieces. So yeah, I don't know, what did you think about the format and the release?
I think it worked well. I think it's tough because we're doing a one shot, and there's no way to know how fast we were going to get it and some of that stuff. So, I think if we should do it again, like if we do it for the X-Files one, I guess I would maybe just keep an eye on the time a little bit better, and maybe we'll deliberately pause.
Oh, like just get to a point where like we're going to stop right here.
Yeah, because sometimes splicing it was tricky. I knew I wanted to do, to break it up into a couple of parts. I wasn't sure how many, so I just like put a bunch of flags in and then went back and was like, okay, anyway. So the editing took a while on that, but which was fine.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really put any thought into like, we're going to break it here or we're going to make a pause here so that we can split it or anything like that. We're just like, we're going to do it and then we should split it up.
Yeah, pretty much. I was really happy with it. When I was editing it, I was laughing like through part of it because I waited a little bit and then I went back and edited it, and I had kind of just to have it refreshed. I was like, all right, this was actually a lot of fun. Good. Alexa messaged us and she was like, I forgot how frustrated Josh was at the end of the session. I was like, yeah, I can't believe it took me so long to figure some of this stuff out, because looking back, I was like, yeah, you made it obvious. I just didn't see it. Hello, McFly.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like we kind of knew, like, or had an idea of what she was wanting us to do.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, we're like, yeah, but we want to do this.
But I don't want to do that.
We don't want to do that. So it's like, we know what we should do, but we're going to do it this way.
Yeah. I actually so after playing it and listening to it, I kind of want to do, like we've talked about that they should do for movies, I kind of want to have another person run like a face-off type campaign again.
Oh, okay. Be like a theme.
Yeah. I think that could, I don't know. I was like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, this could be fun. Like Nate or I should run one, and we could have like a guest on to be the whomever, and then another person could take it over.
Yeah, that's a good idea. For sure. Speaking of guests, you mentioned that you want to have Andy back on.
Yeah.
To discuss more Batman.
Yeah.
And he was open to it.
Wanted to revisit the Batman. Also,
someday we need to talk about The Sopranos.
Yeah. I probably should have watched more of that over my
instead of Justified.
Holiday break instead of Justified. But Justified's a little easier because there's not as much like hard cursing in it, and I have younger kids who are, so I was just like, because I did think about it. I was like, oh, I should. And I was like,
is there going to be swearing, people getting shot?
There's a lot less vulgarity and like nudity, and the themes are much more subdued in Justified.
Yeah, I mean, you got like
there's some hard S's,
premium,
it's an FX show.
Semi-premium, cable versus premium cable. So.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Someday, no rush.
I guess. Yeah.
Although Sopranos hit its 25th anniversary of its release, yesterday? I think
I did see that.
And TikTok is making 25-second like summaries of each episode, and like the Sopranos account is doing that.
That's fine.
I haven't checked it out, but I should.
I'll have to look at that. Now that Max has commercials, though, it makes it harder to watch.
Does it have commercials with all the subscription levels? Or
I haven't. Yeah. Ugh. Well, no. There's a subscription level you can pay for that doesn't have ads, but I just
ads scourge.
Yeah. I'll just maybe if I have some time, I'll have to think about it. The next time I know I have some time where I'm gonna be able to watch it, I'm just gonna.
How far are
get
you
it from
into
the library? I'm like an episode further than last time. Nice. Yeah, so spoilers, I guess. So Tony and Carm are separated, and so he was staying in like that boathouse, and anyway,
White Caps, whatever I think is the name of the episode.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not forgotten. It's just
it's more difficult to watch.
It is sometimes
to find time.
A little more difficult to watch that particular
Fit it in with the rest of the folks that you live with.
Yeah.
Your family.
Yeah.
It's about family. They should understand.
I am probably going to end up watching those movies over the summer. My son has asked. So
Godfather?
we do no the other family.
Oh, Fast and Furious. Yeah.
A couple of summers ago we did the Marvel summer of Marvel. Last summer we did a summer of Mission Impossible, which we culminated with going to see the new one in the theater. Which was much better than the Marvel one. I will watch Mission Impossible 2 over and over again, which I actually like Mission Impossible 2.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
A deep dive for another time. And I think this summer, maybe we'll do, he's been asking, maybe we'll do Fast and the Furious movies.
How many of them are there now? Like 10?
10.
There are 10.
I think there's 10. Yeah.
There's quite a few of them I haven't seen. I haven't seen the second one.
I've only seen the first one.
I haven't seen Tokyo Drift. I haven't seen a bunch of the later ones. You've only seen the first one?
I've only seen the first one.
I mean, the first one is great. First one is timeless.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. It's been long enough since I've seen it. I don't feel comfortable like saying one way or the other. I
saw it in theater like twice.
Wow.
I mean, it came out like I was in high school when it came out.
Man. I went to a lot of movies last year.
Yeah?
Because I'm like kind of notoriously, I just do one or two, sometimes none in a year.
I think I only went to like a couple.
Was last year the year that we started off by going to the Matrix 4?
I think that was
that
2 years ago.
I think you're right. I heard they might be making a fifth one. What? I'm here for it. I don't even care.
I'll watch it.
I don't care.
I'll watch it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah. I'm here for it, man. When are they just going to completely cross over John Wick and the Matrix? Like, it's the
I
same
have not
guy.
seen John Wick 4.
I've only seen the first John Wick.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. I was supposed to be in my unpacking. I thought I was going to find, because I think I own those, John Wicks 2 and 3. I have the first one and I actually know where that one is, but anyway, yeah, I keep meaning to keep an eye out for those.
Isn't there a TV show now based on the John Wick universe?
They were talking about making one, The Continental. I don't know if they did or not. They probably did. Yeah.
So much to watch, read,
do. And I'm trying to prioritize. I want to try and prioritize reading a little bit more over watching stuff this year. Like I've got some family shows that I'm doing for sure, and then like Justified and Sopranos. But I also have like 6 versions of The Count of Monte Cristo that I'm going to watch this year. There's like a mini series from the 70s that's like 9 hours long in total. So I'm going to watch that. I'm going to watch the Jim Caviezel one. I'm going to watch the anime one called Genkutsuo. Which I actually have seen. I saw years ago. It's fantastic. So yeah, I've decided I'm just gonna I'm gonna go through and watch all the iterations of.
You really should become a Count of Monte Cristo scholar. I mean, you basically are.
I don't even think I go that far. I appreciate it. I appreciate the words. I just I'm not comfortable to own that moniker just yet. Next year.
Well, yeah. Work at it a little more.
Adapted media. Count of Monte Cristo.
Sure.
Oh man, good stuff. Well, we got to do another. You know what? You know which one? You know what episode I wanted to do? We've wanted to do for a while. We've just struggled to find the right time. We got to do the taste off between Scooters and Starbucks and like Ziggy's.
Oh, yeah. We haven't done a food / drink one in a while. Yeah, because we did that whole episode on energy drinks. That was great.
I think we've done 2 where we've tasted.
There's another one that we did that was more recent. That was where we had like coffee energy drinks and like a workout workout drink that Alexa gave us, and then So yeah, we should totally do that. Maybe we should do that. Maybe that should be the next one.
We should do that like on a Sunday morning.
Yeah,
because we usually record
in the evening
at night after like the kids are in bed, and then we get together and then. Well, and if you choose, I was thinking if we picked 2 to 3 drinks from each, a drink that we order the same at every place and then compare them that way. So that would be like 9 coffees.
Ugh. Okay, maybe
we should do 2. Maybe we should start with 2 places and compare them.
Or we get the same drinks, but we don't each get one. We just
I was thinking we'd split a small. Okay. Yes. Right. Okay. But still, that's a lot to...
That is a lot. Yeah.
To consume. Maybe we should start with 2, and then whatever the winner is, we'll compare to another one at another date. Maybe that would be a better...
Okay. I like that. I like that idea.
Trim it down.
We could hit like all the coffee shops, like, well, not all of them. The big ones.
Yeah.
I like that idea. We should do it.
Yeah.
We should do it.
All right.
Well, should we call it? Unless you got more.
No, thanks everybody for joining us. You got goals for the year? We'd
love to hear them.
Love to hear them. Yeah.
Have you been checking the email? Or do you get the emails?
Yeah.
Have we gotten any emails?
Mainly spam.
Oh.
Have you claimed your on the or like my favorite is when they're like, we'd like to partner with you and help promote our materials, and then it's like lipstick, and I'm like, no. You know, I just that part of my life is gone. It was never a part of my life, to be honest. Like,
well, it's definitely not here. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Well, we got an email from
not here in Kansas.
So the email for the Podbean account, which hosts the podcasts, comes to me still.
Yeah.
And they said like, oh, we'd like you to partner with you for advertisements. But it was basically then we would be like recruiting for them. And like, so I'm like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
Just tell us if you tell us that you're going to put ads on our podcast so we can like, monetize maybe. But I don't,
I'd be happy with, I just...
I don't think that's what they were going for.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't care.
So yeah, all right. Well, thanks to everyone for joining us, and we will catch you on the next episode, hopefully about coffee.
Yeah. And if not, then we're going to act like you missed an episode, but never release it. Just kidding.
Nice. Later.
Thank you so much for listening. You can find The Open Eclectic on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and MySpace. Want us to ramble on about something specific or have a comment on what you just heard? Send us an email at theopeneclectic@gmail.com. We now have a Ko-Fi if you feel like supporting the show. That's ko-fi.com/theopeneclectic. Or support the show by leaving us a review. Thanks. We hope you'll join us again next time on The Open Eclectic.